This is somebody reacting to Donald Trump being arrested. Dude was straight up arrested. I think he was fingerprinted and stuff. Crazy, man. So anyways, I found this Twitter thread I wanted to go through and see how people are reacting to Donald Trump being arrested, their God Emperor. Now, before we take a look at some of these nutter butters absolutely melting down over this.
Here it is. I found the comment. I had to search a little bit harder. And, sir, you couldn't be more right. Mucho respect.
Hitler put his political opponents in jail, too, is the comment she's talking about.
Scary as what's happening to our country. And people just don't realize it. If they would just go read the history on how Germany ended up in the position it was in.
As if she's ever read it. Anyway, before we listen to these people, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about how they view Donald Trump. Because this isn't just a political leader, obviously. This isn't just a president. It's more than that, right? Now, I've been covering extremists for a long time, and I don't even know what to call it. It's part of a Trump religion. The Trumpist pastors, I guess, is the best word I have for it. I've been covering them for a long time. One of the most famous Trump pastors that I've been covering is named Shane Vaughn. Now, there's a book a while back that I actually read on my Telltale Reads YouTube channel titled President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ. I read through this entire book beginning to end. Now, it was a right-wing fever dream of nonsense, pretty much, but Trump pastors still believed what it had to say. They picked up on it. They listened to it, and they incorporated its theology into their own. So let's talk about how Donald Trump became a messiah and why these people are melting down. And then let's listen to them completely melt down over this. Let me talk about Shane Vaughn's theology for a second, okay? This is from early November 2021. He went on this show with these people. They obviously had a prayer line and everything. And he explains his theology. Just listen to how he describes this.
Every signer of the Declaration of Independence were descendants of the tribes of Israel.
Now, that's fundamental. That's a fundamental piece of understanding that this guy believes that Donald Trump is the Messiah, the second coming of Jesus. But we'll get there. Keep listening.
Can trace it. We know it. And
that's false, obviously. I don't know that I even need to say it. I'm just putting it on record.
Here's the thing you've got to understand about Israel. Most people think of Israel, when you say the word Israel, they think of Jews. I was a doctor of theology. I was the youngest.
No, he wasn't a doctor of theology.
I was the youngest ordained evangelist in America at 14 years old.
No, that was Marjo at age 4, but okay.
I've lived for the Lord my whole life.
No, he was an insurance salesman for a while and committed insurance fraud and went to prison for a while there. Here's his mugshot. Yeah, this is one mugshot. This is the other mugshot. He's got apparently a couple mugshots. So anyway, he didn't live for the Lord. He didn't whatever. He wasn't a doctor of theology. It's all made up. But, we have to talk about this guy. He's famous. He's a famous pastor, and he's famous at least partly because he loves Donald Trump like a messiah, and he believes him to be one.
And I was dumb as a box of rocks and didn't know it.
Fair. Okay. I'm not going to contest that.
At 40 years old, because I thought that a Jew meant Israel and an Israel meant Jew. Until I started studying my Bible, and I found out that the first mention of the word Jew in the Bible is them fighting against Israel.
Okay. I don't know what he's talking about. This could be completely made up, so just take it with a grain of salt.
Wow. When you come to understand that Israel is not Jews and Jews is not Israel, when you get that, here's what happens.
Well, the thing is, God made a deal with Israel as a country and the people that lived in Israel at the time, which were the Jews. Now, granted, there were other people that lived in Israel too, like the Canaanites and others, but okay.
All of a sudden, and I'll do it real fast, at one time, they were one nation. King Solomon died, King Jeroboam, King Rehoboam, there was a split.
Yep.
The Jews, the tribe of Judah, stayed in Jerusalem.
So this is the important part here. This is not true, any of this, obviously. But the claim is that the Jewish nation split. Some tribes stayed in Israel, and some tribes sailed to America, basically.
They kept the Sabbath. That's why they're still identifiable. They kept the Sabbath. That kept them identifiable for these thousands of years.
Completely made up, all of it.
However, there was 10 tribes that went to the north with King Rehoboam in rebellion. Those tribes crossed over the Caucasian mountains. They were captivated by the Germans. They crossed over the Caucasian... Oh, we out of time. Oh, anyway. So they crossed over, I'll make it real quick, where they wound up at was the Great British Isles, because the prophecy was that they would go to the Isles of the Sea. And from there, we find those tribes making their way to the United States of America.
That's completely made up. All of it. Every last bit of it is made up. But he has to claim that that's true for the next part to be true. The next clip I want to show you from this guy was released 2022, mid-August. Listen to what he had to say about Donald Trump here.
Donald Trump carries the prophetic seal of the calling of God. He is Joseph. If you are anointed by Yahweh for a specific plan and purpose, you are a Messiah.
Got to give the audience a second to think about that, huh?
Yeshua was the Messiah of mankind, but Donald Trump is the Messiah of America.
Okay, now that's really packaging up his whole belief system right there. So he believes the founding fathers came to America as descendants of Jews and made a new covenant with Yahweh. And when they made that new covenant with Yahweh, the old covenant between the original Jews and, God was dissolved, basically. So the founding fathers were descendants of Jews, and these Trumpist extremists who believe him to be the new Messiah believe that he is a descendant of Jews, of that new tribe of Jews that came out of, up over the Caucasus Mountains into America. That's the belief system here. So, as Shane Vaughn said just now, the belief is Yeshua is Jesus. There were no J's back then. J's were invented in the 1400s. Yeshua was Jesus' real name in the Bible.
Yeshua was the Messiah of mankind, but Donald Trump is the Messiah of America.
So they believe that Trump is the Son of Man, the second coming of Jesus for all intents and purposes. That's the belief. That's the idea. They've even made children's cartoons about the guy, okay? I'm going to be talking about this in another video soon, so keep a lookout on my main channel for that. But I wanted to go through this big, long Twitter thread of these people melting down because their Messiah is lost. Their Messiah is going to jail, just like Jesus in their minds. That's where we're at now. One more thing about their beliefs with Donald Trump. For him to be the Messiah, he has to be the president. In the Bible, the Son of Man is a distinct Messiah, a distinct role that Jesus was expected to fill. Jesus was expected to take political power in Israel and then spark the end into being. He was going to start Armageddon like that as soon as he became the Son of Man, or as soon as he took on the role or whatever. Well, none of that happened. He died, right? He didn't get to the point where he could take political control over Israel and then spark it into being. So his followers said, well, he'll be back. He'll be back. Originally, it wasn't split into two different roles. They just believed him to be the Son of Man. He was supposed to be the Son of Man, but he didn't fulfill all that stuff. So the Trumpist extremists split it into two separate roles. The Son of God, which was Jesus, and the Son of Man, which they believe is Trump. But Trump has to be the political leader of New Israel, as they call it, a.k.a. America, before the end will come. That's why they believe that Trump must win this election. That's why they believe that he was cheated out of the 2020 election, because they think it's like a plot from Satan or something. So let's just listen to a couple of these. Let's see here. Let's see what this guy says.
All right, so apparently Trump's in trouble for giving money to a star.
No, that's not why Trump is in trouble. He's in trouble for falsifying business records, but okay. Basically, he's in trouble for lying to a whole bunch of people and claiming that this money was being used for this thing when it wasn't. I mean, and it's serious stuff, dude. Felonies, okay? 34 Class E felonies.
I'm a star, and I give all of my money to a porn star to keep her quiet. It's either that or my gun, whatever you want to call it. Third leg. There we go. So how long is it going to be until they charge me?
What, this guy claims to be in the industry?
The same shit. I mean, I guess I should put my name on that list, huh?
On what list? What's he talking about?
Ah, damn.
Yeah, this music is way too loud. I wish they turned this down.
This is getting retarded. Seriously. Dumb. When are we going to talk about the Hunter Biden laptop? When are we...
What does that have to do with anything? It's completely unrelated. It has nothing to do with anything. Hunter Biden isn't in government. I don't care what he's up to. And even if I did, you know what? If he did something illegal, fine. Charge him with a crime. Just like Trump. They seem to be like obsessed with the idea that if Hunter Biden goes to jail, then Trump gets out of jail. That's not how this works.
About the Hunter Biden laptop. When are we going to talk about the money that Obama hid from the FCC?
No idea what he's talking about. This is just like a right-wing extremist fever dream that you know, passes around these circles constantly.
$1.14 million that he hid in campaign funding. When are we going to talk about Biden being a serious?
Oh my God, dude. They live in a fantasy land, dude. They don't live in the same reality as everybody else, I'm telling you.
So y'all mean to tell me you really thought that this was going to go somewhere, like literally thought it was going to go somewhere? Y'all are crazy. Okay, let's just go ahead and throw this out there. On January 20th, when Donald Trump became president, he was no longer in control of his business. And every one of the charges, all 34 of them, took place after he was inaugurated as president. Now, do you see the problem with this right here? The Democrats made such a big deal out of him being president and...
No, I don't actually see the problem.
Of him being president and running the business at the same time, so he relinquished it, put it to a trust.
He didn't do that, though. He said he was going to. He said, I'm going to put the business in a blind trust or give it to my kids or whatever, and he didn't actually do it. He continued to run his businesses despite the fact that there's a clear conflict of interest. He said he would do that all the way back in like 2015 when he's campaigning or something like that. You know, Jimmy Carter gave up his peanut farm, so there was no possible sense of conflict of interest or anything. It's viewed as a virtue, obviously, by Donald Trump, or at least he realizes that other people view it as a virtue, to have no conflicts of interest, and he straight up refused to give it up in the end anyways.
To a trust. So he's not running the... This is a joke.
Wow, man. Okay. What's this humongous heckin' ZZ Top beard got to say for us?
I guess we're just gonna see how far we can take this. That's what we're doing. We're not doing nothing. We're gonna see how far we can take this.
Okay, that one was just straight up creepy, dude. I'm sorry.
I will support Trump to the very end. Bottom line, no turning back.
An endless stream of Nutter Butters expressing support for Trump after his arrest. Really? Dude was arrested, okay? That should tell you something. Think about this. The indictment's been released. We can read through it. We know exactly how the crime was committed and what crime was committed now. There's no reason for anybody to release something like this.
Message to Democrats and Joe Biden in particular.
Okay, that's us, guys. That's us. I mean, it's not, but let's just pretend it's us for a second, okay?
There's people like me in this world. We don't give a about tomorrow. We care about the freedom for our children, for our families, and we're ready to die. We don't have anything left to lose, Joe. This one's on you.
So they're saying that they're ready to commit bombing, basically. They are, all of that noise they made about jihadists back in the 2000s, and they've found themselves in their exact shoes suddenly.
We're going to do a clarification and another quasi-decode.
Okay, let's blow it up and see. First indictment unseal will trigger mass pop awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker 9, Q. Oh my God, this is a Q drop. December 17th, 2019. Is that really a Q drop from then? I haven't read all the Q drops. To my knowledge, there are more words in QAnon posts than there are words in the Bible. I mean, QAnon's been posting for years and years, just meaningless garbage over and over and over again. He said first arrest. Was he also? Is the comment that she's responding to. Okay.
Clarification and another quasi-decode. Here's the post. First indictment, mass pop awakening. First arrest verifies action and confirms future direction. Marker 9. But wait, here's Trump's post.
Okay, these thugs and radical left monsters are just indicated the 45th president of the United States of America and the leading Republican candidate by far for the 2024 nomination for president. This is an attack on our country, the likes of which has never been seen before. It's likewise a continuing attack on our once free and fair elections. USA is now a third world nation, a nation in serious decline. So sad. Okay. That's what Trump said in response to being indicated.
See how the word indicted is spelled wrong next to a 45?
Dude, this is what QAnon does. They find every little discrepancy or difference or error or whatever and claim that it's an indication that, like, Trump is working against the deep state or some other nonsense. One of my favorite clips of all time is probably from Johnny Enlow. He's another Trump pastor. He is an extremist for Donald Trump. It's crazy, dude. I don't even know how to describe him. Anyways, he explained Donald Trump's Kofifi tweet, his famous Kofifi tweet. If you don't remember this, Trump said something about negative press Kofifi, C-O-V-F-E-F-E, and it was obviously just an error, like autocorrect didn't jump in to save him on this one. But QAnon pastors read into the situation. This is from early May 2022.
Kofifi is C-O-V-F-E-F-E. And so that's how it's spelled, okay? C-O-V-F-E-F-E. Can't do it with the fingers when I'm doing like this. But anyway, Kofifi. And yes, people thought that was an error for spelling coffee.
No, it was press coverage. Dude doesn't even remember what it was about.
Spelling coffee. Like they haven't learned yet that President Trump doesn't really miss anything. If something is spelled, if he leaves out an L, he adds an R, he does, everything has a reason and a purpose. This is very strategic what is taking place.
Remember, these people believe Trump to be the second coming of Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of Man in the Bible.
So Kofifi is, there are three from the table of elements. CO is for cobalt, V is for vanadium, Fe is 2 molecules of iron. This is the solution, the antidote to the 5G towers that were really designed to work with the vaccines and essentially hack us as human beings.
Oh boy.
Really?
And so what he implemented when he was telling Kofifi before.
What is happening, dude? These people are absolutely unhinged, and I am here for it. This is hilarious. I mean, it's really, really sad because there are family members of people watching that are dealing with them saying this exact stuff, you know? It's really sad. But I will be damned if it's not entertaining as hell. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right? You got to have a laugh at this stuff.
So they created, essentially, if I understand it correctly, some sort of magnet that they put at every pole, 5G pole, that essentially doesn't allow it to do the hacking that they wanted to do.
That's not how you write a chemical formula, by the way. C-O-V-F-E-F-E, that's incorrect. It would be capital C, lowercase o, capital F, lowercase e, and then a 2 on top. That's how you would write that chemical formula. And I don't have any clue what... Does Johnny Enlow think that Trump, like, produced a bunch of cobalt? Oh, yeah, vanadium is in there, he said, right? So CO, and then V, and then FE. So it'd be Cavfe, I guess. Anyway, does he think that Trump produced a bunch of this stuff and then put it up by 5G towers? Like, what? This is just, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. So anyways, yeah, this is not the first time by any stretch of the imagination that they dug into the spelling and the letters and the positioning of the words and all that other stuff.
Misspelling is a marker next to 45, which is 9. Marker 9. It's the second decode I've done on marker 9. We are in the thick of it. Watch for the first arrest.
Just nuts, dude. These people have real problems. Trump one-man army.
To stand against the elites that run this world. We had one man who had the courage to put America first, to put the West first, to stop the endless wars. And what did he get in return?
Dude, this music. Please stop playing music so loudly over what you're doing.
Endless investigations. Name dragged throughout the media 24/7.
Such a victim, right? Richest person to ever be president. One of the most powerful people in the world for a time, at least. Arguably the most powerful person in the world for a time. And holds an incalculable amount of influence over society. And he's the persecuted one, right? Totally.
Nothing.
And by the way, this song is a ripoff of the Cranberries song. They really should. Zombie, I think, is what it is. The original is better, and please just turn music down when you play stuff.
Nothing but a constant barrage of insults, memes, and everything else, all because he wanted to do what's right for his country.
You're right, totally. Trump wanted to do what was right for his country. That's what it was all about, right?
The politicians turn their back on him because they're too worried about their own career. The sheriffs, the military, the FBI, the Secret Service, all too worried about their own careers to stand up and do what's right for their own country. Filled with cowards that care more about their career than the actual country going into dumps. You people should be ashamed.
Wow, dude, that was something else. Also, was that Disturbed singing it? It sounded like it was Disturbed. That music was a lot, though. I mean, I probably wouldn't have hated the song if I heard it in isolation, but please don't play music that loud over what you're saying. I couldn't even pay attention to what he was saying about Trump.
This is an
open letter to Donald Trump, okay?
This is an open letter to our 45th President of the United States, Donald John Trump. Dear Mr. President, myself as an American citizen, want you to know not only myself but millions more of American citizens stand behind you 100%. We will not sway. We will not turn our back on you. We will not walk away. We stand firmly on the ground that we're standing on now, supporting you. Sir, it's so sad in our country as it is today that you have been persecuted and prosecuted and pretty much well crucified.
Notice use of the word there, crucified, persecuted, prosecuted, crucified. They believe him to be the second coming of Jesus. I'm not exaggerating. That isn't a turn of phrase. That's real.
Crucified since the day that you decided to run for President of the United States. From the moment you stepped foot in the White House, the Democratic Party seek to destroy you. They have done everything underhanded, misconstrued everything.
Right. Why is he always viewed as the persecuted one? He's the one that's always being mistreated by everybody around him. It's not him taking advantage of every situation to enrich himself and to get one over on other people. It's other people trying to get one over on him. Totally. And he's just an honest guy, right? Just doing his best in the world to help everybody around him.
Misconstrued everything. Led the media to downtrodden you and ruin you also. And the only thing you tried to do was do great things for a great nation.
Totally. He's the victim here.
You brought back God to our country. You brought back togetherness.
Well, he brought back extremism and KKK talking points. Really, everything that Trump says, the KKK has been saying since 1982. And if you doubt me on that, I just talked about this in a video. It may not have released quite yet as of the moment you're watching this, but just go to my website, owenmorgan.com, and in the search type KKK, and it'll pop up there for you. It's already on the website. I upload videos before they release to my website, so you can just watch it there if you want to. Direct, exact word-for-word copies of what the KKK's been saying since 1982. Since long before then, even. Really. The Republican Party of today, the Trumpist Party of today, is the KKK of yesterday.
Hey, folks, what's happening today is very dangerous for this.
So her camera keeps blinking up and down, up and down. It's trying to adjust for bad lighting, I think is why it's doing that.
How did we get here? How did we let the liberal communists, the ones that are bought and paid for by Soros?
That's an anti-Jewish dog whistle that the KKK has been using for, like, decades.
Soros is an evil man. He is.
No, he's just a guy, okay? He's just some dude. That's it. And he happened to be Jewish and a Holocaust survivor. He's not some evil genius that's pulling strings like a puppet master. He invests in Democratic campaigns pretty frequently. That's about it.
Is a very evil man. Go back and look him up. I'm talking to the right, I'm talking to the left. If you knew what he did to his own people, you wouldn't be so giddy.
There's this conspiracy theory out there that he took part in and assisted in the Holocaust. Completely made up. He's 14 years old when all this was going on, and he was being hidden and taken care of by a member of the Nazi Party who held sympathies with the Jewish community and was trying to help, trying to protect Jews. Like, I think, didn't Schindler do something similar? Free a whole bunch of people? There were a lot of people in the Nazi Party who were towing the line publicly, but privately kind of working things around to save people. And yeah, that's basically what happened with Soros. He was rescued by that guy, adopted by him, and taken around and stuff. Soros was exonerated of all wrongdoing after the war because he was a child and for all intents and purposes had absolutely no control over what was happening to him. To my knowledge, he didn't even do anything wrong. I think the guy that had adopted him that was trying to save him, I think was going on runs to count the gold that they had stolen from the Jewish community. And Soros went with him on some of those runs. And I think somebody was like killed in front of him at one point. But there's really nothing that he could have done to stop any of that. But you know who repeats this? Alex Jones. Alex Jones claims that Soros is like this bad guy who is involved in all this and everything else. It's all complete conspiracy theory nonsense from the ground up, all of it.
Soros is an evil man. He is a very evil man. Go back and look him up. I'm talking to the right, I'm talking to the left. If you knew what he did to his own people, you wouldn't be so giddy. That is who is the puppet master.
He's not a puppet master. Like, he just donates to Democratic campaigns. They live in a fantasy.
People like him. We have let the government, let these sick liberal communists play us for big ass fools. See, they don't want Trump. See, Trump, everybody loved Trump. Everybody wanted Trump to run till he came as a Republican.
No, I don't remember everyone wanting Trump to run. And as soon as he came out and said he's going to run, didn't he say it was going to be on the Republican ticket? Like, what's she talking about?
See, the fix was in for Hillary to get elected. But see, people, there was still a lot of Americans that said, oh, hell no. That thing cannot be president of this country. She is evil.
Okay, interesting. So if the fix was in, quote unquote, for Hillary to be president, seems to me that it can't possibly be fixed then, right? Because the fix didn't work. If the fix was in, it means that it's all set up from the very beginning to make this thing happen. If it didn't happen, it means that democracy does still technically work, right? But no, they're going to claim, I mean, these people that we're listening to, going to claim that this is all rigged and twisted around and the deep state is... Blah, 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 blah. Logic doesn't play a part in any of this. Logic plays no part.
And so they didn't vote for her. And the liberals went crazy, and they started in with the press and all this stuff. And they turned us against one another. They went after Donald Trump, the one that they used to love him. But see, he started exposing them. And they couldn't have that. So they had to turn the people against him and against each other.
This is absolutely unhinged. This is like a fever dream. Anarcho-capitalist, Democrats and Republicans are the same. You guys just argue over small details. Really? You think? I mean, this is the Republican Party that we're listening to right now. This is where it has arrived over the past 40 years. This is where it's at. What is the left-wing version of this? Can you think of a left-wing equivalent of this right-wing extremist fever dream where they believe that the deep state is pulling strings like puppet masters and all this other garbage? Claiming Democrats and Republicans are equivalent or the same with small details, differences, that's just not the case at all. Like, I don't see how anybody could view it that way.
This goes out to all the common sense people, and I mean...
Where is this guy's neck? He is sans one neck. What happened to his neck? Did he have like a neckoscopy or something where they pulled his neck out and placed his head on his shoulders instead? Where the hell is this guy's neck? I'm not seeing a neck here.
This goes out to all the common sense people, and I mean, no libtards, no democrooks.
No libtards, he says.
Common sense people.
Patrick Starr, yeah, that's right, exactly. This is Patrick Starr in the flesh.
Think about our friends in New York who are rooting for Trump, who are behind him, and encourage them, don't get involved in these crowds with these socialist idiots. Do your best to stay calm, believe what you believe, don't engage, stay out of jail, and back our president. He needs us now more than ever. We're all smart. We all know exactly what they're doing. We know what they're trying, and we know what they're trying to get away with.
Who is they? Are they in the room with us right now? Craig? That's a guy's name, apparently. Craig Grimes, too. Are they in the room with us right now, Craig? I thought for sure his name was Patrick.
So, stay safe. Keep each other's backs. I wish I could be there because I'd have your back. And let's pray and get through this together. Love to everybody.
My God, dude. How does one's neck get to the point that this guy's neck got to? I just want to know.
This whole entire time, I thought Stormy Daniels was a senator or a House member.
Really? Okay, well, it sounds like you just don't pay attention to, like, literally anything then.
Something to do with government.
No. Was always an adult film actress.
I had no idea that she was who she was. So this whole thing about Trump is gotta be staged. I mean, it's got...
What? Okay, hang on a second. I'm sorry. How did we get there? Started with, I thought she was a politician, and then ended with, this is staged. I'm sorry, I'm just so confused.
Gotta be staged. I mean, it's gotta be staged. What do you think's happening right now? Is he putting his wardrobe together?
I mean, I'm in Manhattan. This is real. It's been a circus here.
Is he... Who knows? Who knows what he's doing?
I know. I'm in Manhattan. Lots of people know what he's doing right now.
But, I just thought I'd let you know that, in case it matters. It helps you in some way. To know that I thought Stormy Daniels was a member of the U.S. government.
Well, you were wrong. I don't understand what he thinks he's accomplishing by telling us this.
Those of you that have been following me for a while know that I love a good conspiracy theory, but this one hit just a little bit different today. So I'm sure we all know Donald Trump is in New York dealing with this indictment. His motorcade was seen leaving the airport and heading to Trump Tower. While I was watching this, I noticed something just a little bit off. We'll watch it together, see if you notice it too. All right, so the video starts off, nothing out of the ordinary. You've got your local PD, you've got your lead cars, which usually house your Secret Service, security detail, etc. It's a lot of Secret Service for a civilian.
Well, I mean, he's still an ex-president, technically a civilian because he doesn't do any like work for the U.S. government, but ex-presidents have special treatment.
Then you've got things like communication vans. You've got these extra cars inside the motorcade that are not normal for a citizen.
Yeah, so he's not just a citizen, he's an ex-president. There's more to this than just, you know, he's a citizen, obviously. I can't believe I even have to say this, but the conspiracy theory here is that Trump is still the president. That's the idea they're trying to communicate. He's still technically the president. And that's just nonsense. I'm sorry, man.
That's a lot of vehicles for a citizen. And there's the presidential limo right there. And here's where shit gets funky. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Why? Why is there an ambulance following a...
So let me explain why that's relevant. It's because an ambulance traditionally goes with the presidential motorcade to, you know, in case something happens, he needs help or whatever, they'll have an ambulance there. And this guy's claiming because there's an ambulance in the motorcade, it means that Donald Trump is still the president. In reality, maybe the dude's just like 80 years old almost and could, you know, fall at any second, or something could happen. You know, right now, there are snipers on every building in New York City. Well, not anymore, but when he walked up the courthouse steps, there were snipers in Midtown Manhattan to watch out for something shady that might happen, to protect him. Secret Service does not like exposing their, you know, their protective target or whatever. They don't like exposing their person to open air, generally. Like, the last time this happened, one of them got shot in the head, you know, JFK. I mean, that's not the last time they exposed themselves to open air. But anytime there's an opportunity, you know, people take that opportunity to do something crazy. Secret Service wanted to do this at night, go in the courthouse in the cover of dark. In fact, the courthouse said, we can do this by Zoom from Mar-a-Lago. You don't even have to come in. Trump didn't want to do that. He wanted the imagery. He wanted people to see him walking up the courthouse steps in broad daylight. Usually people go in the back. He wanted to go in the front because he wanted the imagery. So I don't know who's in charge of the presidential motorcade or whatever, but this conspiracy theory falls to pieces pretty quickly.
Why? Why is there an ambulance following a presidential motorcade? And I don't want to hear about Donald Trump is boisterous or whatever. That is a presidential motorcade. That is literally the definition of a presidential motorcade. Look it up. President Obama, when he was in office, he was known for this massive entourage like this that had all kinds of vehicles in it.
Known for it? I personally knew Obama for creating the meme. Let me find the meme. Yeah, this meme right here. The audacity of this. That's the meme. That's what I knew him for. I didn't know him for a presidential motorcade. What?
His motorcade looks exactly like this motorcade. Why is there an ambulance following a citizen?
Because he's like 80.
I'll tell you why. Because that man is your commander-in-chief. That man is still our sitting president. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad he has some self-awareness.
I know that it sounds crazy. I haven't made one of these crazy videos in a while. I'm telling you, that man is still your sitting president. And it's illegal to arrest a sitting commander-in-chief, so...
No, it isn't illegal to do that.
It's about to get weird. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Like this video, share this video, comment on this video. I want to know everybody's thoughts.
No. They're just terrible, dude. Just terrible in every way.
Bullshit, man. I love you, Trump. I'll be there for you, President, man. They just try to... They don't want you to be president.
Presented without comment, I guess.
If you're a Trump hater...
Yeah, to the Trump haters, y'all won't be doing all that talking soon, and I can't wait.
If you're a Trump hater, I'm going to need you to go in the kitchen and pack you a lunch. Go ahead and find you a nice seat somewhere and buckle your seatbelt and get ready for the ride that's coming.
Just terrible and painful. This guy looks just like my Uncle Mickey. Exactly, like spitting image.
Well, it looks like the time is about here. And when they knock at my door, I will be locked and loaded. Period. I will defend my home, my family, my freedoms. Period.
Period.
I will kill the enemy at my doorstep, or they will kill me. God bless.
He is obsessed with the idea that someone is out to get him 24. What's it like to live in a constant state of paranoia like that? It's got to be harsh, right? It's got to be miserable.
There's nothing worse than watching your country die.
Nothing worse than watching the country what? Watching your country die? Okay, I don't need the music. I'm just going to skip through. He's just sitting there looking sad. There's nothing worse. Especially if you have kids. Oh my God, dude. It's just painful. Here's another conspiracy theorist about the motorcade.
Watch this. This is the motorcade, President Trump leaving New York City, right? Here goes his motorcade. What we're going to focus on is that right there. That's an ambulance. It literally has the medical sign on the roof.
Sure, it's an ambulance.
001 ambulance to be exact. It's going to go with the motorcade. And there's the rest of the motorcade, just waiting for President Trump to pass by. They'll pan back out and I'll show you. They don't send an ambulance. There he goes. They don't send an ambulance for former presidents.
They can send whatever they want. Are you kidding me? These people live in a fantasy land 24/7.
Only for current presidents. Why? Because they don't need medical help like a current president would. Now we're going to fast forward up.
Yeah, well, when the former president is like 80 years old, maybe they think it might be a good idea to send an ambulance.
Here to 32 minutes, and I'll show you. He's on the damn bridge.
What are we looking at right now? It looks like we're looking at a ceiling, but the TV is at the top. I don't understand the perspective. I'm so confused by it. Dude, does he have his TV mounted to his ceiling for real?
There it is. There's the ambulance.
Okay, I'm not seeing the ambulance in his thing, but, I don't see why it matters anyways.
That seems peculiar. Why would they do that?
It's not because he's still the president. I can promise you that. And again, I don't even see an ambulance in this. What's he talking about? What ambulance? I saw an ambulance pull out when they left, but yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about here. It's just a fever dream, dude. These people are melting down right now, and I'm telling you, they believe that Trump is their messiah. It's nuts. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. I am so entertained by this, but it's sad at the same time. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right?